What are you really doing at the end of the month? For me, this is my suggestion for you. It is the end of the month of October. These are some of the one practical thing that I would recommend for everybody in the cleaning business to be doing is this is the time you send out your evaluations, right? Today is, let's say on Monday, or you send it out Tuesday, and you give them a few days even after the end of the month to get those evaluations in. So somebody will probably ask me the question, how do we get these evaluations done? First and foremost, keep it simple. Keep the surveys very simple. Go on Google Forms. Keep it as simple as Google Forms, right? Have about 3, I would say no more than 5 questions. The questions should look at, the quality of the work. The questions should look at how secure they feel after your staff leaves the place. So in terms of the alarm systems, the question should look at the communication, right? And maybe one more thing, maybe about payment. If they have a new system of payment coming in that they haven't communicated to you, this is a perfect time to ask them something about what is coming up, right? And they will be able to tell you. But the key thing is keep it very, very, very simple. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things. So I have found that using a platform like Google Forms is super helpful, right? We send it to them, the response comes back to us, we are able to do something with it. Now the second thing is you must have a plan of action. Don't do surveys just for the sake of surveys, right? One of the things that we do at Distinct is we have a rubric that is attached to our survey. So every survey, when our clients, when they fill it out, there's a number that is given to it, and based on the range of that number, we know what action to take. What do we do with this action? It helps us to talk to our subcontractors, to let them know where the client is and what the expectation is. Because, for our monthly meetings, we want to walk in with a plan of action. So know what you're doing with these surveys. Don't just take the surveys for the sake of taking them. Because after a while, if you don't put action, you don't put things into, or if you don't act on it, if you don't act on it, then it's just going to be something that you do and it will catch up to you, right? So what are some of the benefits, right? I have listed some of the benefits, about 4 benefits of doing these surveys or performance evaluations. The first and the most important thing is that it allows you to do a better job. That is the goal. We do these surveys not because we want clout, not because we want to pretend. It's because we want to have something tangible to inform us of how we are doing. You cannot guess on your own how you're doing. It is a job of the client to tell you how they feel you're doing. And that is why in earlier videos I talked about the scope of work. How you are doing will be based on the scope of work. So performance evaluation is moot, or is pointless if you don't have a scope of work that is agreed upon between you and the client. So please, if you don't have a scope of work, get that done. You can reach out to us and we can help you get a scope of work done. But the point of the performance evaluation is it helps you improve. The second thing is that if you are assertive, if you're paying attention to your client, you will also know how your client is feeling about you. For example, if you've been doing a performance evaluation where, every time you ask them, are you willing to refer us to another friend of yours or another company that you partner with, and they say yes, and then suddenly they are saying no, you don't need, it's not rocket science. You know that they are not happy with you. This is an opportunity to have a conversation with the client and say, hey, historically you've been very open to recommending us to other people, but now we've seen that in the last 2-3 months you said no. What is going on? How can we improve our relationship with you? Is it because you're not happy? Is it because, what has gone wrong? This is an opportunity to to have that conversation with a client. And also an opportunity to look internally and do things better, right? To return to the things that made you become good, right? So it is an opportunity for you to do that. The third thing is that it gives you a systematic review of, or a systematic way of knowing how you are doing. When I say systematic, I'm really talking about now we have a number, especially when they grade us. You have something tangible that you can go back and bring your team back to and say, hey, company ABC is rating us 60% when historically we've been at 95%. So now when you're talking to your staff, it's not just you talking hot air, you have a number. And I'm sorry, the only way that you know how you're doing is based on the numbers. Numbers don't lie. We say it all the time. So in this case, if you have something like this, the number is not going to lie. And then finally, it is one of the ways that you stay engaged with the client, right? In my years of being in the cleaning industry, one of the things I have noticed, and it never fails, is a client is more happy with you when you are proactive, not when you are reactive. And I've talked about that in different videos, but for the sake of this video, I'll explain. Reactive is when you show up because they are complaining. Proactive is when you show up before the complaints even start. You are constantly being seen, you are engaging them. And performance evaluation is one of the best ways to show engagement, right? They see that you are still committed to what you are doing. You are still committed to the terms of the contract. You are still committed to excellence, and you are still committed to this craft, to this work. And it makes clients feel better that this person is committed. When they said they will get this done, when they came on board, they said they will constantly do evaluations. They are still doing it. They are not waiting for us to ask. So again, it's the end of the month. Make sure you get your performance evaluations out. Create it on Google. Make it short, no more than 5 questions, and make sure that it touches all the important aspects of the contract. And I'm sure your clients will be very happy with you. It's good to have you. See you around.